Every day, millions of people eat rice without thinking twice about it. But what if the type of rice on your plate is silently affecting your weight, your blood sugar, your heart, and even your energy levels? White rice or brown rice, which one is actually healthier for your body? The answer isn't as simple as you've been told. Rice has been a staple food for thousands of years. Entire civilizations have survived and thrived on it. Yet today, rice has become controversial. Some people say white rice is unhealthy and causes weight gain. Others believe brown rice is superior in every way. But what does science actually say? To understand the difference, we first need to understand what rice really is. A grain of rice has three main parts: the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. Brown rice contains all three parts. It is considered a whole grain because the outer bran layer and the nutrient-rich germ remain intact. White rice, on the other hand, has been milled and polished. This process removes the bran and germ, leaving only the starchy endosperm. That simple processing step changes everything. Let's start with nutrition. Brown rice contains more fiber because the bran layer is still present. Fiber plays a powerful role in digestion, blood sugar control, and heart health. It slows down how quickly carbohydrates are absorbed into the bloodstream, preventing sharp spikes in blood sugar. White rice has much less fiber. Without the bran, it digests more quickly. This leads to a faster rise in blood glucose levels. For someone with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, that rapid spike can be problematic. But here's where things get interesting. White rice is often enriched. During processing, certain nutrients like iron and B vitamins are added back in. So while brown rice naturally contains more nutrients overall, white rice isn't completely empty. It still provides energy, carbohydrates, and some essential vitamins. Now let's talk about blood sugar, because this is where the debate becomes intense. Brown rice has a lower glycemic index compared to white rice. The glycemic index measures how quickly a food raises blood sugar. Lower numbers mean a slower, steadier rise. Higher numbers mean a faster spike. Because brown rice contains fiber, it slows digestion. This makes it a better choice for people trying to manage blood sugar levels. However, portion size still matters. Even brown rice is primarily carbohydrates. Eating large amounts can still raise blood sugar significantly. White rice digests faster because it lacks fiber. That doesn't automatically make it bad, but it does mean it can cause quicker glucose spikes, especially when eaten alone without protein or healthy fats. Now let's address weight gain. Many people believe white rice causes belly fat. But weight gain isn't caused by a single food. It's caused by consistent calorie surplus. If you eat more calories than your body burns, weight gain happens, regardless of whether those calories come from white rice, brown rice, or even healthy foods. However, fiber in brown rice may help you feel fuller longer. That fullness can reduce overall calorie intake naturally. White rice, being lower in fiber, may not keep you satisfied as long. But here's something rarely discussed. In many Asian countries where white rice is eaten daily, obesity rates historically remained low for decades. Why? Because overall diet patterns, portion sizes, physical activity, and processed food intake play a much larger role than rice alone. Context matters. Now let's talk about digestion. Brown rice contains more fiber, which supports gut health and bowel regularity. But for some people, especially those with sensitive digestive systems, too much fiber can cause bloating or discomfort. White rice is often easier to digest. That's why doctors sometimes recommend plain white rice during stomach illness or digestive distress. Athletes also often prefer white rice before competition because it digests quickly. It provides fast energy without causing heaviness. So does that mean white rice is better? Not necessarily. It depends on your goals, your body, and your overall diet. Now let's talk about heart health. Whole grains, including brown rice, have been linked to lower risk of heart disease. The fiber helps reduce LDL cholesterol levels. The bran layer also contains antioxidants and plant compounds that support cardiovascular health. White rice, lacking those compounds, doesn't offer the same protective effect. But again, heart health depends on total lifestyle, exercise, stress levels, sleep, and overall diet quality. Another factor most people ignore is arsenic. Rice naturally absorbs arsenic from soil and water more than many other grains. Brown rice tends to contain slightly higher levels because arsenic accumulates in the outer bran layer. This doesn't mean brown rice is dangerous, but it highlights the importance of variety in your diet. Rinsing rice thoroughly and cooking it in extra water can help reduce arsenic content. Now let's shift to energy levels. Because white rice digests quickly, it provides fast energy. This can be helpful after intense workouts. Brown rice provides slower, more sustained energy release due to its fiber content. Neither is automatically superior. They simply serve different purposes. So far, we've looked at structure, nutrition, blood sugar, weight, digestion, heart health, and even toxins, but we haven't answered the main question yet. Which one is actually healthier for your body long term? The answer isn't black and white. It depends on your health status, activity level, and dietary balance. Now let's go deeper, because the real answer isn't about labeling one rice as good and the other as bad. It's about understanding how your body responds to each one over time. Let's talk about insulin and metabolic health. Every time you eat carbohydrates, your body breaks them down into glucose. That glucose enters your bloodstream, and your pancreas releases insulin to move it into your cells for energy. When this system works smoothly, your body stays balanced. But frequent high spikes in blood sugar, especially from refined carbohydrates, can strain this system. Over time, your cells may become less responsive to insulin. This is called insulin resistance, and it is one of the key drivers of type 2 diabetes. Because white rice digests quickly and raises blood sugar faster, eating large portions regularly, especially without fiber, protein, or healthy fats, may increase the risk of insulin resistance in some people. Brown rice, with its fiber content, slows that glucose release. That slower digestion can help stabilize blood sugar levels and reduce stress on your insulin system. However, here's something important. If you eat white rice along with vegetables, lentils, beans, chicken, fish, or healthy fats like olive oil, the overall meal becomes balanced. Protein and fat slow digestion. Fiber from vegetables reduces glucose spikes. In this context, white rice behaves differently than when eaten alone. This is why focusing on the whole meal matters more than isolating one ingredient. Now, let's examine gut health more closely. Your gut contains trillions of bacteria. These microbes feed on fiber. Brown rice provides more fiber, which can nourish beneficial gut bacteria. A healthy gut microbiome supports immunity, digestion, mood, and even weight control. White rice provides less fiber, but it still contains resistant starch, especially when cooked and cooled before eating. Resistant starch acts like fiber and feeds gut bacteria. Interestingly, cooling rice after cooking and then reheating it increases resistant starch content. This can lower its impact on blood sugar slightly, so preparation methods matter too. Let's move to micronutrients. Brown rice contains magnesium, phosphorus, selenium, and small amounts of antioxidants naturally present in the bran. Magnesium is especially important because it supports muscle function, nerve health, and blood sugar control. White rice loses much of this during processing, although enrichment adds back some nutrients like iron and certain B vitamins. But here's a key point: rice should never be your only source of nutrition. If your diet includes vegetables, fruits, legumes, nuts, seeds, and protein sources, the micronutrient difference between white and brown rice becomes less dramatic. Now let's address inflammation. Whole grains, including brown rice, are often associated with lower markers of inflammation in the body. Chronic inflammation is linked to heart disease, obesity, and many modern illnesses. Fiber and plant compounds in brown rice may contribute to anti-inflammatory effects. White rice does not contain those same protective compounds. However, inflammation is influenced more strongly by ultra-processed foods, sugary drinks, smoking, poor sleep, and lack of exercise than by moderate white rice consumption. So context again becomes everything. Now think about sustainability and digestion comfort. Some people genuinely feel better eating white rice. They experience less bloating and digestive discomfort. Others feel more satisfied and energized with brown rice. There is no universal reaction because every digestive system is slightly different. Cultural adaptation also plays a role. If your body has been accustomed to white rice for generations, switching suddenly to high fiber brown rice may feel uncomfortable at first. Now let's talk about calorie density. Both white and brown rice contain similar calorie amounts per serving. The difference lies mainly in fiber content and micronutrients. So from a purely calorie standpoint, they are nearly equal. Weight management, therefore, depends more on portion control and overall calorie balance than on the color of the rice. Another overlooked factor is physical activity. If you are highly active, exercise regularly, or engage in physically demanding work, your body uses carbohydrates efficiently for fuel. In that case, white rice can serve as a quick, easily digestible energy source. If you are mostly sedentary, sitting for long hours, and struggling with blood sugar control, brown rice may offer better metabolic stability. It's about matching your food to your lifestyle. Now let's consider long-term health outcomes. Large population studies show that higher intake of whole grains is associated with lower risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Brown rice falls into the whole grain category. White rice, especially in very high amounts without dietary balance, has been linked in some studies to increased diabetes risk, but the overall dietary pattern matters significantly. If someone eats white rice with fried foods, sugary drinks, and minimal vegetables, the risk increases. But if someone eats white rice with balanced, nutrient-rich meals, exercises regularly, and maintains healthy body weight, the risk profile looks very different. So now the question becomes more refined. Is brown rice nutritionally superior? Yes, in terms of fiber and natural micronutrients. Is white rice harmful on its own? Not necessarily, especially when consumed in moderation within a balanced diet. But there's still one final layer to uncover. What about athletes? What about weight loss specifically? What about people with digestive disorders? And if you had to choose only one for long-term daily eating, which would truly support optimal health? Now let's bring everything together and answer the question in the most practical way possible. If you are trying to lose weight, which rice is better? The honest answer is this: neither rice automatically causes weight loss or weight gain. What matters most is portion size and total calorie intake. However, brown rice may give you a slight advantage because it contains more fiber. It digests slower and helps you feel full for a longer period. That fullness can naturally reduce overeating later in the day. But here's the truth most people ignore. If you eat large bowls of brown rice, you can still gain weight. And if you eat moderate portions of white rice within your calorie needs, you can still lose weight. Weight control is about consistency, not color. Now let's talk about athletes and active individuals. If you train intensely, lift weights, run, or do physical labor, your body needs quick fuel. White rice can be extremely effective here. It digests quickly, replenishes glycogen stores, and provides rapid energy without causing digestive heaviness. That's why many professional athletes include white rice in their meals. Brown rice still works for active people, but before competition or intense training, its higher fiber content may feel heavy for some. So again, purpose matters. Now consider people with diabetes or insulin resistance. For them, blood sugar stability is critical. Brown rice generally causes a slower rise in blood glucose compared to white rice. That makes it a better everyday choice in many cases. However, pairing white rice with protein, vegetables, and healthy fats can significantly reduce its glycemic impact. So it's not just about swapping rice, it's about building smarter meals. What about digestion-sensitive individuals? People with IBS, gut inflammation, or sensitive stomachs sometimes tolerate white rice better because it is low in fiber and easy to digest. Brown rice, while healthy, can feel too heavy or cause bloating for some. In these cases, white rice may actually be the better option for comfort and symptom control. Now let's address something important: sustainability. The healthiest diet is the one you can maintain long-term. If you dislike brown rice and force yourself to eat it, you're less likely to stick to healthy habits. If white rice is culturally important in your meals and you enjoy it, moderation and balance matter more than elimination. Health is not about extreme restriction, it's about intelligent choices. So if we had to summarize clearly, brown rice contains more fiber, more natural nutrients, and offers better blood sugar stability. It is generally the stronger choice for long-term metabolic health. White rice is easier to digest, provides faster energy, and works well for active individuals or sensitive digestion. It is not inherently unhealthy when eaten in balanced portions. The real danger is not rice. The real danger is overeating, ultra-processed foods, sugary drinks, physical inactivity, and chronic stress. Rice has fed civilizations for thousands of years. The problem began when overall lifestyle changed, when movement decreased, processed foods increased, and portions grew larger. Instead of asking, is rice good or bad? The better question is, how does rice fit into my total lifestyle? You can even combine strategies. Use brown rice most days for fiber and nutrients. Choose white rice around workouts or when you need lighter digestion. Focus on adding vegetables, protein, and healthy fats to every meal. Watch portion sizes, stay active, because no single food determines your health, patterns do. So after all the debate, the comparisons, the science, and the myths, here's the simple truth. There is no villain on your plate. White rice is not your enemy. Brown rice is not a miracle food. Both are simply tools, and your health depends on how you use them. If you want more fiber, better blood sugar stability, and extra natural nutrients, brown rice gives you that advantage. If you need quick energy, easier digestion, or a lighter meal option, white rice can serve that purpose well. The real difference isn't just in the grain. It's in your habits. Portion size matters, meal balance matters, physical activity matters, sleep, stress, and overall diet quality matter even more. For thousands of years, people ate rice and remained healthy because they moved their bodies, ate simple foods, and lived balanced lifestyles. The problem isn't rice, the problem is imbalance. So instead of asking which rice is healthier, ask yourself, how can I build a healthier plate? Add vegetables, add protein, control portions, stay active, and choose the rice that fits your body and your lifestyle, not just what social media says. Because real health isn't about extremes, it's about consistency.